Good evening, parents, and welcome to the middle school band's winter concert. We're going to start off tonight's program with the sixth grade band. You're in for a fantastic night of music. The kids have been working very, very, very hard towards this goal. And we're going to start with a march called Mr. Joe. And in that, we're talking about things like a particular type of articulation, where they're not just playing their notes normally, but they have to use their air and their tongue in combination to get marcato and staccato articulations across. In other words, separating the notes and also emphasizing them when needed. This march in particular is a challenging march because of the key. Most of the music you heard last year when they were in 5th grade most of it was in concert B flat, and maybe we did a piece or two in another key. This piece within it has 2 different key centers. Most of it is in concert E flat, which is probably the 3rd key center that we work on with the kids over the first 2 or 3 years. And then the trio is actually in concert A flat, which for band students is very challenging. For many of them, they have 4 flats to worry about in the key signature, or 3 flats or 2, which they're not used to. So the trick is to make that not noticeable, that they're playing in a more difficult key and that they're going along just like it was in good old concert B flats. And then the percussion groove on this march in particular features what we call call and response between the bass drum and the snare drum, and we have a lot of them playing snare drum back there on this. So dynamically, those guys have to make sure they're not playing too loud and that they're really listening to each other so that the groove settles in. So here we go. Hope you enjoy it. This is Mr. Joe. Thank you very much. The one thing I forgot to talk about, I'm not sure if you heard it or not, but fatigue can tend to set in on that march because the ranges are a lot higher than they're used to, particularly in the brass. They're getting way up there at the top of the staff. So we worked hard this semester on it, but I think our chops got a lot stronger for it. The next piece is actually a very different style, a piece of Renaissance music, which was written in 1551 by a composer named Teilhard Sasato. And we like to play a variety of styles with the students, and certainly most of these instruments on stage did not exist in 1551, maybe in certain instruments in some form, but certainly not in their current state. So the challenge here is the phrasing for one. Instead of playing 2-bar phrases, we're playing mostly 4-bar phrases, which again is challenging their endurance and the strength of their embouchures. And also their technique comes into play with this piece. It's very demanding and there's a lot of scale patterns, but getting the fingers moving a lot faster than they have in the past. You're also going to hear more from our low wind section, which is kind of new this year. We have, I don't know if you guys can stand up, we've got 2 bass clarinets, 3 tenors, a bari, and 2 trombones this year. Can you guys stand up so they can see all the new instruments? There you go. So hopefully you can hear them at different key moments in this piece that they are featured on a couple of solis. So this is Soldier's Procession and Sword Dance. So that piece is on every state list of suggested repertoire. It's one of my favorite pieces for the age level, and I didn't tell them until recently, or maybe I didn't tell them, I'm not sure. But that's a grade 1.5 piece, which typically you'll hear 7th grade bands around the country play, or maybe even 8th grade bands. So again, these guys are doing so well that we need to challenge them with this level of music. So you hopefully are hearing that the playing is more sophisticated from last year. To match articulations, those short notes, and have them all play them exactly the same length. If you heard a trumpet soli, were all 7 or 8 of them playing them all the same length? Did you hear anyone sticking out? Let alone wrong notes. For the most part, wrong notes and rhythms and right notes and rhythms, and those are the things we're talking about. Never mind making music like these guys are. So they've done an excellent job this year. So we're going to close with, without a doubt, their favorite piece called The Tempest. It starts out a little bit mysteriously, but then it quickly turns into something with a lot of energy and a lot of intensity. So I hope you enjoy The Tempest. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to our next group, which is the Blake Jazz Ensemble.
The preceding was a production of Medfield TV, Community Shows.